think that's a good segue into our next speaker. Wherever there's injustice here in North Carolina, his name is somewhere in there as a protester, as someone who is opposing issues of workers' rights, of teachers' rights, of just all voting rights. Wherever there are issues here in North Carolina, Reverend Barber is there first and foremost as the voice of the people. He heads this HK&J coalition, has been an incredible leader, an incredible partner in terms of organizing on the ground across North Carolina, and I cannot wait to hear what he has to tell you all.
Let's give it up for her. Let's give it up for our organizers. It's all about the young people. Give it up. Bob Hall, it's hot up here. You got to come stand with me. I can't stand by myself in all this heat. Come on up here, Bob Hall, because I want folk to know that you're not going to separate us, that we're together. Actually, I don't want to say much today. I want to make a statement, and I want my daughter, who plans to register to vote next year, to finish the statement. Because I think we got to really understand access to voting and the ballot that is unabridged. Say that, because you need to learn that word. That's a constitutional word. Say unabridged. Unhindered. That kind of access to the ballot for us as a nation has always, Reverend Gate, when you were right, been the center of the American struggle for democracy. To have an unabridged, unhindered process. And those who have tried to isolate and segregate and manipulate who would have access to voting have always been wrong. Get it clear now, they're not just wrong today. The folk, the historic DNA of those who have always tried to isolate or segregate have been wrong. They were wrong in the founding documents of this nation, when they isolated only white male landowners. And they said poor white men and women and black folk couldn't vote. They were wrong. They were wrong when in the 1800s, after the passage of the 15th Amendment, after the passage of that in 1868, when they began to rewrite the laws, and the Dixiecrats, who went at that time under the name Democrat, called for the Old South to turn back opportunity. And they chose voter suppression and implemented voter poll tax and grandfather clauses. They were wrong then. And you gotta know this history to understand what's in the political DNA of these folk. They're following an old pattern. The folk that fought against the passage of the Voting Rights Act in 1965 were wrong. They were wrong when they killed Viola Louisa, the white woman who was shot to death transporting people from Selma to Montgomery. They were wrong. They were wrong then and they're wrong now. 1957, May 17, 1957, before there was even a march from Selma, Alabama, Dr. King gave a speech in Washington before the 1963 March on Washington saying, give us the ballot. Because he knew that those who would try to withhold, would isolate and segregate the ballot, they were wrong. They were wrong then and they're wrong now. The extremists that are trying to call for voter ID are wrong. They're wrong when they want to pass voter suppression, roll back same-day registration. They are wrong when they want to seek to either misuse the Voting Rights Act of 1965 or deem it unconstitutional. They were wrong then and they are wrong now. Now I want you to notice how calm I'm talking, because I want us to be clear. And we have to be careful in our language. The NAACP was the primary architect of the Voting Rights Act. They don't have the last word. Well, if you can't get to all the hearings because they have them during the day when working people can't come, if you can't get there because they put the maps out the week then before July 4th, all that, they can try all the tricks they want. Those of us can get there, we're gonna get there, but they don't have the last word. There still has to be a review of the Justice Department, and can be a review of the courts, and I want you to understand that we intend to fight this all the way, in the streets, in the suites, and in the courts. Because they've been wrong then, and they are wrong now. Tell your neighbor to get that clear now. Get that very clear. See, because I don't want you to think that in order to be right, you got to have 10,000 people rally every time we come together. My Bible tells me 1 can chase 1,000 and 2 can chase 10,000. And if 2 or 3 get together for the right purposes, you're right. And the law, we believe, and history is on our side. Is on our side. Tell you that don't look down, look up, because there's something else about them being wrong. And then I want Reba to come, my daughter Rebecca, to close with her own statement. Not only have they been wrong throughout history, they've always lost. You gotta know history. Now I didn't say they didn't win a battle here and win a battle there, but ultimately righteousness and the democratic principles of inclusion always ended up winning. The arc, that's right, Dr. King said, the arc of history may bend long, but it always bends towards justice. We will be victorious because we are not out here trying to isolate power. We are trying to promote a real democracy where everybody can participate in power and the decisions that those who have power make. And ultimately, they may have power in those seats, but there is a higher power above their power, and that is the faith that we must walk in. My daughter, I've never done this before, but I want to ask y'all my indulgence. And one of these days I'll tell you the story of why it's so important that she would be here as a walking miracle. So I want to tell them what you got to say.
All right. I'm going to start with a true story. A little while back, my older brother told me about a conversation he had with a mutual friend of ours. I had always thought that this young lady was very political conscious and cognizant about the world around her. I guess I was wrong. To my brother's surprise, when he asked her if she was voting in the 2010 congressional elections, she said, "No, I don't want to." I guess it's only her luck that she was talking to my more easygoing brother than me, because as soon as I heard the story, I felt like I had been slapped in the face. I, unlike my friend, am just counting down the days until I will be able to cast my mark on the ballot. As a black woman, history will never let me forget how important suffrage is. Had I been living in 1870 as a black woman, I would not yet have the right to vote. But after the passing of the 15th Amendment, I would look on at my male family members in adoration as they set out to cast their vote. My excitement would soon die down, however, as they would be deprived of their suffrage once again. Then in 1920, as a woman, I would be thrilled when the 19th Amendment was passed. Oh, but wait, blacks still couldn't vote. Never mind. And finally, in 1965, the Voting Rights Act was passed, forbidding any unfair hindrances to black suffrage. Everyone's hard work finally paid off. Better late than never, I suppose. Now, with all that said, I cannot understand why some people have the idea that they can still deprive others of the right to vote. Let it go, people. I mean, why would anyone take away same-day registration? It's perfect. It makes it easier for hardworking people to make their way out to the polls. Churches and civic organizations even use same-day registration as a way to fellowship with the people around them while still managing to make a difference in the world. And as far as implementation of a voter ID law, I believe that is about as irrational as poll taxes and grandfather calls it.
Amen. Yes, it is. It is.
I, as well as all of you, know why people are trying to pass these outrageous laws.
Yes.
Some people don't like what having someone like President Obama in the White House means to the nation. It means that people who have been downcast for years now have a renewed sense of hope. It means that struggling parents do not have to worry about being able to afford health care for their children. It means that the rich cannot run rampant without any consequences. Now, I have been accused by some of my classmates of liking President Obama simply because he is black. That is about as dumb as disliking someone because they are black or white or gay for that matter. What I'm trying to say is that as an American and most importantly as a Christian, it is my duty to make sure that the country lives up to its name and truly becomes a land of the free.
All right.
I want to close with my favorite quote by Nelson Mandela. To be free is not really to cast down one's chains, but it is to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. I want to be free. I refuse to let my vote be suppressed. I refuse to let anyone's vote be suppressed. We will be heard. I'll see you all in 2012.